Alright, so today I'll be showcasing Ethereal Aizen. I recently got him. The update only just came out, but I think I got him pretty quickly compared to how quickly other people have been getting him. You get him by evolving 3 of the new units and then sacrificing those, if I remember correctly. There's better videos explaining how to get him than what I can do, but basically today I'll just be showcasing his stats and how he works, and that's about it. So he costs 3,000 to place, and on placement mine does about 5k. He's not maxed out, he's almost maxed, he's only level like 56, but he's really close, so his stats should be close to max basically. So on placement he has about 5k damage, about 7 cooldown, and 19 range. And then for upgrade 1 it costs 3,400, now he does about 6k damage, still the same cooldown and range. Next upgrade, now he does almost 7k, 6.85k damage, again same cooldown and same range. You'll also notice that he's full AoE, and he does stay that way for quite a while surprisingly. Oh, and before I forget, his talents, or his passives, basically his first passive means that anyone within a certain amount of his range, about 40%, they take just damage. They take just a percentage of his damage, which is really nice. So if you're going for traits, or if you want to know what stats to focus on, you probably want to focus on his range, because the bigger his range is, the bigger that 40% that they take damage from is. So that's a really big one. And then he has the second one here, where anytime a health stock is removed, it makes the enemies walk backwards, which is interesting. There's not much use for that right now. There's not many characters that do stock related stuff, I don't think, minus maybe Ichigo. But overall it still seems like a pretty good passive if you're struggling a little bit, or if you do have Ichigo. Now going on to upgrade 3, now he has about 8k damage, again same cooldown, and he has a bit more range. Now with upgrade 4 he gets a new move actually, and now he's at about 9k damage, 3.5 second cooldown, and he's at about 24 range. Upgrade 5, he has 9k damage now, same cooldown and a bit more range. Upgrade 6, now he has almost 10k damage, same cooldown, and again a little bit more range. His range really gets up there. He gets quite a lot by the end of his upgrades. But he gets just a little bit, with each upgrade, and that really adds up, and at the end you'll see his range is crazy. Now at upgrade 7 he has 15.66k, so almost 16k damage, 5 cooldown, and about 27 range. Now at upgrade 8 he has 18k damage, about 5 cooldown, and about 29 range. So now he's a cone. So before he was full AoE, and then he switched to a smaller AoE, and now he's a cone, which is pretty interesting. He kind of goes through a couple different ones during his upgrades. You'll see he should end up back as a full AoE, but yeah, he does kind of cycle through those a little bit. For upgrade 9 he has 19k damage now, I think the same cooldown and almost 30 range, so again he's really getting up there with his range, I'd say. Now at upgrade 10 he has 20k damage, again still about the same cooldown, he's already at 30 range. And now for upgrade 11, you see there he's gonna get another move, which is interesting. I think he's gonna switch off the cone, but I'm not too sure. Yup, so now you'll see he's full AoE, and his AoE is huge. It's one of the bigger AoEs in the game, which is really surprising. Now he's at 39k damage, almost a 10-second cooldown, which is kinda but I think for his range it's pretty good. And he's at almost 40 range. Now for upgrade 12, he gets about 40k damage, still the same cooldown and a bit more range. Now for upgrade 13, he's finally at 40k damage, still the same cooldown and 45 range. And now lastly, last but not least, for his final upgrade, upgrade 14, he has 44k damage, same cooldown, and 50 range. And for a full AoE unit, that's really crazy. I mean, you can see here, I've just been having him attack in the background this whole time, and there shouldn't be any enemies back here, and I didn't place any units either, and he's just been getting them. I mean, some of the enemies at the start were a lot stronger, but because of how much range he usually has, it's no big deal. And I mean, I didn't even place him that close to the portal, yet his range goes way past the portal. So overall, he's a really good unit, I'd say. I don't know if I would choose him over Gojo in some situations, honestly, and you'll see why in a second. Because I think Gojo's time stop is a bit more useful. I think time stop units in general are always going to be a bit more useful, but at the same time, his range is really, really crazy. I mean, previously Gojo's range, everyone sort of thought was really good, and then now we just have a full AoE unit with 50 range, so I don't know. But so, what I was saying before with the time stop and all that, right here, his move, Dabo81, basically, you select an area along the track. I can't move it off the track, and it's kind of iffy on mobile. Let me see if I can do it properly. Yep, so now there's this blue wall here, and now all enemies, minus bosses, I don't know if it's a glitch or intended, but bosses sadly don't get stopped by this. Now enemies are paused, and during his blue wall being up, he gains additional damage. So I don't know if you could fully see, and it has to do with his passive here, his final passive. It says every enemy stopped by his ability increases the damage conversion of his first passive by an additional 2%. So basically every enemy that gets stopped, an additional 2 damage that his first passive gives you. So it's really, really good, I'd say, when it's up. Otherwise it has like a 2-minute cooldown, I think, or 2.5 minute. And it only lasts for about 10 seconds, I think, about the same time as Gojo's. But the difference is that Gojo's time stop can freeze a lot of bosses, if I'm not mistaken. I think there might be a couple that it doesn't freeze, but it's very, very good. It can just freeze bosses and enemies, and that's kind of what you want from a unit like this. Especially if you need him for his support capabilities. Like, I personally wouldn't use Aizen for his ability. I'd probably use him because he's a full AoE unit, whereas Gojo is a pretty good support and damage dealer, so he's a bit more well-rounded and you can use him a bit more versatile, I guess. He's more versatile. But at the end of the day, I'd say Aizen's pretty good. I think his one passive that, enemies within 40% of his range, they take damage, that is extra damage aside from his main damage, his 44k. So compared to someone like Gojo who is doing, his cooldown might be a bit lower and he might do about the same damage, he doesn't really have that extra damage that Aizen does. But at the same time, I think their abilities are pretty situational, so it kind of depends on what you want for that. But overall, he's a pretty good unit. I mean, he's a little hard to obtain, he's kind of expensive, but I think I wouldn't choose Gojo or Aizen. I wouldn't choose one or the other. I would try to get both if you can. I think they're both really good units and really worth getting. So overall, I would rate him like an 8 out of 10. Pretty good unit. I think his ability could have a shorter cooldown. I don't know if it's that crazy to have such a long cooldown, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with this kit. I'm pretty happy with how he plays as a unit. He was definitely worth the 3 sacrifices, but let me know what you think down below. If this showcase helped you or you enjoyed it, then make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment, do all that. But that's gonna be it for this video. I might have a tier list video out soon ranking this update's units, and really just the entire game, but mainly these update units, so maybe keep an eye out for that. I have some other units from this update that I actually have strong thoughts on, so if you're interested for that, then stick around and see.